Okay. Yay. Happy Monday, guys. Happy team call night. This is our last team call for January. This is insane. I can't believe it. 4 days. It will be February. We have an awesome guest speaker tonight, and I'm super excited. So before I introduce her, I'm going to just kind of do some quick announcements and remind you guys of stuff that's going on in case you didn't already know. We had an awesome national wake-up call today from Moira Kusaba that I hope all of you, if you haven't listened to it yet, make sure you go back and listen to it. I want to go back and listen to it and take notes. It was that good. So tons of super helpful information. If you are not on a Team Cup team and you want to be on a Team Cup team, basically, if you are a working coach, you should be on a Team Cup team. Reach out to me or reach out to your upline or post in our team page so we can make sure we find you a team. That starts February 1st, and everybody who registers for Team Cup will get 2 promo codes going into February. So even more incentive to get yourself on a team. At least get yourself into a pod, like a success pod for the month. Honestly, you guys, it's just a really great way to get yourself connected with other coaches and out of your comfort zone and to push towards your goals together. The last thing I wanted to mention is our Diamond Dash group that also kicks off this week. So if you are an Emerald coach or maybe you just hit Emerald and want to hop in there, there's still time. So again, shoot me a message so we can get you plugged into that. There's tons of stuff going on, you guys. And obviously 4 more months to reach your goals before we head into February. February is going to be a huge month. So I'm going to share my screen so I can show you guys a little bit about our guest speaker tonight. So I'm super excited. Okay, so our guest speaker tonight is Janine. I hope I say her name. I just hope I say your last name right. Bonhard. Oh, okay, great. So Janine is actually someone I actually stumbled upon. So listening to team calls, I happened to come across a call where Janine was a guest speaker. And I just remember sharing this call with everybody and anybody because I was just so inspired by her story. She has been a coach for 3 years. She's a 2-star diamond. She's a 2020 premier coach. She's also a full-time kindergarten teacher. She just got married this last year. And she just bought her a new house this last summer. So we have a lot in common. But what really moves me the most about Janine is just the type of person she is, the type of coach she is, how much she's overcome in her coaching journey, and how I just so much can relate to all that she's had to persevere through and how going through that has actually she's only come out stronger and on the other side. And just her mindset about everything and her perspective about it all is what I really wanted, why I wanted her to be a guest speaker for you guys, because I want you to absorb and hear her and hear all that she has to share, any wisdom she has to pass on to us, because it's truly super inspiring to me. So I know it will be inspiring to you. So I'm going to let her take it away.
Wow, thank you so much. I feel like you and I have been talking and emailing back and forth for forever now. And I am always just so honored when I get asked to speak on a team call. And Amy, I can't wait for you to speak on my team call coming up here soon. So thank you guys for having me tonight. And thank you for taking the time out of your Monday. Team calls are always, better live. But the teacher in me, I'm going to share my screen. Right. You guys all see that? Okay, perfect. So whenever I speak, and this is kind of also how I feel about sharing my life on Instagram, I feel like everything is just very vanilla. I feel like that's kind of how I am, pretty basic and standard, all American girl over here. And that's how I kind of feel when I give trainings and get to speak. But my hope is that even if I say something that you've heard somebody say over and over and over again, it may click with you different. You may take one thing away from this to implement, and that's my hope for you. You don't have to change your whole practice and your whole business just because I'm saying that this is how I do things. But if you can just take one thing, whether it's a mindset, whether it's a tactable, tangible tip, and just take that and try to implement it and see what it does for your business. I'm still learning. I'm still growing this year. This is going to be my year. Like, I know it. I've been putting it out into the universe. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my story first. And then I really want to focus this call on mastering your CEO mindset and your belief behind this business. I feel like so many people can come in and just say, okay, I'm doing the thing. And you're just kind of going through the motions as it's just another chore. But when you look at this business with that business mindset and the opportunity that it has for your life, it changes everything. And I look at my work with this business as not just another thing to check off the list. It is my heart, my soul, my passion. And I kind of want to share a little bit tonight about like how that came to be. So my Instagram handle, you do not have to follow me by any means. I know what it's like to like follow 1,000,010 coaches. Trust me, I only follow like 3 coaches. But my handle, if you want to check it out, scope it out, it's fitnessj9. J9 is a play off of Janine. A lot of people don't know that. Because of teacher life. I wish that I could have my name be my name, but if you want to go scope me out, that's me. So I started 3 years ago this month. I just hit my 3-year anniversary, and I saw my coach's post that she was now hiring. It was like back in the day when you could put like a big script over it that said like now hiring, like looking for influencers. And I screenshotted it and I sent it to my then boyfriend, now husband. And I was like, this sounds like way too good to be true. And he's like, why don't you just find out? And so I sat in an info session. And so I'm a firm believer in running info sessions all the freaking time because that's where I came from. And I listened, and I was the type of girl, I didn't have a strong fitness routine. I kind of just thought that my body was the way that my body was. I had just finished my master's. I was not the type of person to just sit and chill. I like to fill my time. And so I said, I'm going to give it a year. Why not? Let's see what happens. Let's learn. Let's grow. And my first year, I put a bunch of question marks there because I have no freaking clue what I did my first year in my business. And I think this is true for a couple of reasons. My upline was extremely new and she really didn't have an upline. And so we were like navigating the waters together. So like I am the type of person to go on YouTube and I watch training after training because like that's how I learned. That's how I grew. But like my mission now as a leader and a mentor is to make sure that my coaches don't feel that way in their first year. So every experience that you go through, whether you've been a coach for a month, whether you've been a coach for a year, look at it and think about how it's going to shape you as a leader. Because that first year, yeah, I have no clue what I did. I think I hit diamond in my first year. Don't even know. I hit diamond like by accident. Didn't even realize it. Neither did my upline. Like that's how like new and like we didn't know the business at all. But take it and use it to shape the type of leader that you are and say, I don't want my coaches, or I want my coaches to go through and do this. Don't, look at every opportunity as kind of like a learning curve. So my second year, I really found my groove. I started to build this team. I was rocking and rolling. I started like, running all my own things, like running my own info sessions, my virtual gyms, boot camps, accountability groups, whatever you guys want to call it. I started like making my own trainings. I started hosting team calls, and you guys, like I was that coach. If you've ever heard a story where I would host a team call in the summer and no one would show up. I remember like walking out bitching to my husband, like saying, sorry, I think there might be a kid on here. Like just saying like, this is BS. Like, why aren't people showing up? But I kept showing up, and you guys, I now have a team and it's incredible, and I'm finding my people. So just like this whole call is going to kind of be about that. Just like keep powering through. But in my second year, I found my leader, and it was this past March. So it's almost going to hit a year. I had found like my leader. I was like, yes, this girl's taking it. She's going. We were like molding her to be this diamond. And we had both paid for this Punta Cana upcoming Success Club trip. We had both put in our deposits together. We were watching all of the girls go on the cruise, like, oh man, like wish we could be there, whatever. And she had hit diamond. She held it for 6 weeks. It was amazing. And then she quit. Called me up and quit right after the 6-week call. right after putting down her $300 deposit. I was crushed. And in those moments, and you have an amazing leader who has been through highs and lows, I know, and she can speak from her experience, but when you go through a high and low in this business, you really just look at yourself and say, well, what am I doing wrong? And you think that you have to change everything. And I'm here to tell you tonight that no matter what your low has been so far, no matter what low you're going to face in the future of this business, because you will, you do not need to change everything. You do not need to hate on yourself, to crawl into a hole, to get off of social media. And I did none of those things. Of course, my brain is like going with all of those things. But what I did is I really leaned into my team. I found somebody in my up line, like somebody who like I really didn't even know. And I leaned into her and I leaned into my coach. And I tweaked a couple things, of course. And I said, this is my business. I can only control me. I can't control who stays, who leaves, anything like that. And so I just kept recruiting slowly but surely. I'm not like a massive recruiter by any means. I am a slow, steady, wins the race kind of girl, just building it up as I go little by little every single month. So my second year was all about finding my groove in the highs and the lows. So this past year, like my third year, I guess I'm kind of like in between years 2 and 3 now, but we hit Premiere this past year and it was the best feeling. And I'm so happy that like I've hit these like milestones because I've gotten a taste of it all. Now, like this year, it's like elite or bust, like it's happening. And so And I will be completely honest with you guys. I've already dropped from 2-star. I'm at 1-star. My husband is one of my diamonds and his emeralds are super shaky. And I always knew that, but I needed to hold it for the 6 weeks and for the bonus. So as of right now, you know, I'm a lifetime 1-star because of 1 emerald. I will never be the type of person to like sugarcoat and like fake it or anything because that is this business. You will drop rank. You've just got to like swallow that pill and be like, okay, moving on. Like that's just a part of this business. So that's my story. I think that there's a lot of takeaways in there. So that's why I wanted to spend a lot of time on that. But now I really want to dive into this whole mindset. And the first thing that I really want to talk to you guys about is eliminating a certain word out of your vocabulary. And that word is try. And raise your hand if you say, well, I'm going to try to send more invites this week. I'm going to try to send some coaching invites this week. I'm going to try to follow my meal plan 100% all week long, even on the weekends. Okay, we use this word try so much, and it gives us this out. And I am not perfect, but I am trying to eliminate, there it is, I'm trying to eliminate the word try out of my vocabulary and my team's vocabulary, at least when it comes to this business and at least when it comes to my health and wellness. You've got to stop leaving that door open to be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And that's what that word try does. And so that's the first real big mindset shift. Instead of saying, I'm going to try to do my invites today, like when you wake up, it's not try, it's I am going to do my invites today. It's not, I'm going to try to do coaching invites. I am going to invite to the coaching opportunity today. And you should have a partner that you can say, okay, hold me accountable to this. I'm not going to try to do this. I am going to do this. And this year I really started writing down more positive affirmations. I do use the Start Today journal by Rachel Hollis for my 10 dreams and my gratitude. But I also have written out like a whole 2020 vision page in my journal. So exactly how I envision this year going for my marriage, for my job, for my business, for my family, for my finances. And I wrote this paragraph out, kind of like a story about my life for 2020. And I wrote it as if it's happening, as if it's already happened, as if it's present tense, as if I'm living it. And I read that as part of my morning routine every single morning. And nowhere in there is the word try. Nowhere in there. And I think that's something really powerful, but we have to shift our brains and we have to like retrain our brains to eliminate that word, because that's just how we've been wired with society. So that's my one tip for your mindset. When you catch yourself doing that, like text your accountability buddy in your group, whatever, and say, oh, I just caught myself doing it. I'm not going to say the word try. This is what I'm going to say instead. So I want to talk to you guys about a CEO mindset. And this is actually something that's been driving me nuts lately. And if you have like a small team underneath you, like there are like little things that like start to drive you nuts. And and I say that with the most love because like I'm like a teacher and I just want to like catch all my coaches and bring them in and mentor them and like hold them under my wings like they're my little kindergarten babies. But I can't do that. And you shouldn't want your mentor to do that for you either. You need to have a CEO mindset in this business. And we are given such a freaking gift with Beachbody that we can open up a business for $160. It was well over $200 when I got started. That we can now open it up for $160. That is incredible. You hear people that start their own brick and mortar businesses for thousands of dollars. And I think what so many people don't realize when they get started is that this is an actual business and that you are your own brand. And when you can start to shift your mindset into saying, I'm the CEO of my business, and I'm going to go through a couple activity questions at the end of this to see if you're thinking and treating your business like you are the CEO. But just as bad as you guys want the biceps and you want the abs and you want the lean body and you want everything, like your coach, your upline, cannot come into your house for you and do the workouts for you. She cannot come into your kitchen and cook for you and meal prep for you. She just can't. You've got to do all that stuff for yourself, for your health and wellness. That's job number one as a coach. I'm sure so many of you nail that every single time because you were brought in to know that that is first and foremost in this business. But now I want you to take that same concept and just apply it right to your business. Your coach, your success partner, whoever is your person in this business cannot send the invites for you. They cannot show up on social media for you. They cannot run a coaching info session for you. And if you don't do that, your business will not grow. It won't. And you can't expect it to, and you can't start blaming other people, and you just have to look inward. And sometimes it's a really tough look in the mirror, and I've been there several times to say, you know, what is going on in my business? Where do I need to self-reflect? Have I been doing my invites? Have I been sharing the coaching opportunity? Have I run a coaching info session? How was that coaching info session? How can I tweak it? And you constantly have to be in this. How can I make my business better? Mine. And you've got to start taking off the crutches and the training wheels that your coach has provided for you. If you're in your coach's accountability group, if you have 1 to 2 clients under you, go run your own boot camp. Go partner up with somebody, go run it all. You take so much more ownership of your business, and you will immediately get that CEO mindset when you're running it yourself. When you know how it feels to schedule out the posts so that they go off every single day at a certain time. You start inviting and feeling more ownership over your invites when you have something yourself that you have to fill. Like whenever I run my own coaching info sessions, I remember when I used to run them like with my upline or a partner, I wouldn't invite that hard because I'd be like, oh, well, there's a couple girls in it. But when I run it by myself, I invite like crazy because I do not want that thing to be empty at all. Like I've got to fill it up. And so again, it's taking that control of your business and knowing that you are the only person who's going to build it. And you know exactly what to do. There's endless trainings. I'm sure your team has endless trainings. There's YouTube. There's the coach office. The business activity tracker, yeah, it's kind of blah and boring to look at, but it literally lays out. And you guys, that is what I do in my business. The business activity tracker wasn't around when I got started, and I never built the habits of starting it. And I wish that I had. But when I pull it out and I actually do look at it when I'm like sitting down to work, like I'm checking off all those boxes and I'm like, okay, I'm doing the things to be a successful coach. Your why, when I got started with this business, my why was like, I didn't know what my why was. My why wasn't powerful. My why didn't make me cry. My why, and you would hear all these coaches like talking about your why, and your why should move you. I get it. Like, and being in the business now and knowing what I know and what the business can do for you, my why makes me cry. like it just does. And the longer that you're in this business, you will get there. My biggest tip for cultivating your why is getting to a live event. You need to get to Summit. You need to go to Super Weekend coming up in April. You need to go to a live event. You guys, I just went to Super Saturday back in January by myself with 30 people in this room with like a weird projector on the wall. It was like not like one of those cool, big showboaty guest speakers. We had like a Zoom speaker in. I still went. I didn't learn anything in the business. I was the most honored, I don't even know what you want to call it. I was the highest ranked person in the room. And so I listened to some Emerald speak, I listened to some Diamond speak, and I took little bits away. But more importantly, I surrounded myself with like-minded women. My why really started to come to fruition when I went to my first summit. I have not missed a summit since I started coaching. And I want to put things into perspective for you guys. My first summit was in New Orleans 3 years ago. That one was, I bought it in May. I went in like June or July. It was like super last minute. I went on a whim. I had never met any of my team, flying from Michigan all the way to New Orleans. And we stayed in this real sketchy house. If you're going to New Orleans, get a hotel room. Do not stay in the neighborhoods. It's a little sketch. But anyways, and my why, I looked at all the women there, all the trainings that happened. And it was my social proof that if they could do it, so could I. And in that moment, at that summit, I said, this is my future. Like, I am doing Beachbody for life. I will be stopping teaching one day. I will be staying at home with my kids one day. And it was because I heard all these stories, and you hear the power of Summit. You guys, I'm not just like blabbing Summit just to blab it. Like, it is, you hear these speakers speak and you're like, she is just like me. She's not different. She's not special. The only thing that she has maybe on me is a little bit more time, probably a lot more hustle than I had been putting in. And that was it. So I needed to be patient with myself, and I needed to up my hustle. My next summit was the summit before my wedding. And I got married in July, mid-July. And the summit in Indy was the end of June. And I was like, you guys, it's like 2 to 3 weeks before my wedding. Like, there's no freaking way. Like, it was the weekend after my bachelorette party. I went to Summit 2 weeks before my wedding. Psycho, I know. And then I ended up getting a new job too. Like, it was just madness. This past year, Summit fell over my 1-year anniversary. I went to Summit. I drove home on a Sunday on my 1-year anniversary. And I told my husband, I said, I gotta go. And he gets it. He gets it 100%. This year, it's like 2 days after my 2-year anniversary. I'm going to Summit. Okay, make it a non-negotiable, because it will be your social proof. And if you don't have that strong why, I promise you will walk out of Summit with that strong why, like 100%. And if you guys are, and if you're sitting here saying like, Janine, I can't get to a live event. I'm missing that why. I'm missing that piece. I truly want you to take out a piece of paper, and I want you to write out your dreams, your hopes and dreams for your life. And I know it can sound like a little like woo-wee and like woo girl. Like, you can listen to Rachel Hollis. She kind of talks about how to do it in the next 10 years when she's explaining how to use her Start Today journal. There's a podcast episode on it. And sit there. I really encourage you, because here's the thing with writing out your dreams like that. Yes, your whole life should not be Beachbody, but when you sit and you look at your life and how you want your life to go with your kids, your family, your finances, your relationships, all of it, Beachbody can be the vehicle to get you there. Beachbody can be that vehicle to make that dream life of yours happen. And I'm sitting right now in my very first home, a dream home, you guys. Like, I cannot even tell you that this house, it's 5 years old. It's a new build. It's like, we could not have bought this house without Beachbody. And that was something on my dream board, on my vision board for our first house. I thought we were going to have to buy like a fixer upper and just slowly renovate it. And Beachbody happened. And it's so freaking powerful. And I'm not saying that You have to be rooted in finances for your Beachbody and for your why. But again, remembering that your Beachbody business, again, can be the vehicle for your dream life. And I don't want you to underestimate that, because the sky is the freaking limit in this business. And like something so fun that I just did. So I just hosted my first retreat. I literally had 2 girls come to my house. I was like, I got my house, like come to my retreat. Like, yay, we just hit 2-star. They came to my house. I hired a cleaning lady for the first time ever to come clean my house before they came over. And I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, I've always wanted to have somebody come and clean my house. Like, I'm not going to do it every month, but like, oh my God, it was so cool. And that was like a little perk that I didn't even know I wanted. And it was like, okay, thank you, Beachbody. So it's like those little things. And again, use me as social proof that my first year, I had no freaking clue what I was doing. And here I am in year 3 and knowing, and my husband knows, like, this is my year. Like, I will not be going back to teaching in the fall. Like, I'm going to make this happen. This is my reality. Whether or not you want to go full-time or not, whatever your dreams are, use us as social proof that this can truly be whatever you want to make it be. Okay, so I promise I'm going to start firing off, going through this. I can blab forever. Okay, I'm not going too bad on my time. So personal assessments. I want you to stop and ask yourself. And this, again, could be like a little activity if you're kind of feeling like in a rut, or if you're kind of feeling like, what do I need to post on social media? Or you're feeling just like a little lost, or who you want to speak to. I want you to go through these questions. Who were you before you said yes to this? Again, maybe you just came in a week ago, a month ago. You were still a different person than you are now in saying yes to this opportunity. Who were you before? What was that woman like? Was she self-conscious? Was she uncomfortable? You might still be that person, but you also said yes to this opportunity, so you're growing. So who were you before? Why did you join? Was it the community? Was it the finances? Was it the health and wellness opportunity? What was it that drew you into this opportunity? And who are you now? Again, it might just be a week's difference. It might be a month. It might be a year. Who are you now? Because all 3 of these questions, you can have so much to talk about in your Instagram stories. You can have so much to write a caption about if you actually take the time to think about this. Okay, I craft so many posts based off of who I was. I craft so many posts based on how I got to where I am now. Okay, I base all my posts off of like, why did I join? And I literally just told my team today, because I see so many of them posting about their February bootcamp opportunity, like opening up their next virtual gym. We open ours every single month. And they're just posting these graphics on their Instagram stories with a bunch of text and a bunch of words. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I challenge them today. If you're going to post those graphics, you need to either before or after show your face. You need to show your face, and you need to talk about why you love these programs, why you love these groups, why you love the nutrition, why you love the supplements, what it's done for you. Post some testimonials, post some quotes, whether they're yours or not. In my mind, any coach on my team is fair game. If they have a transformation, I will post that. I will share that. Anybody in my boot camp, screenshot, blur out their face, blur out their name, or ask. Okay. You need to have, again, that social proof. We use all coaches as social proof, but your clients and potential clients also need that social proof from you before they can commit. I want you to think of the person who you're talking to and what they need to hear from you. They don't just want to see, oh, okay, I get, X, Y, and Z when I join, and they can read it on a graphic. They need to hear your voice. They need to feel your emotion. They need to know what this has done for you. And if you're like, I'm not as into these programs as you are, Janine, like you're super passionate about this, then I encourage you to pump the brakes on inviting, pump the brakes on all of it, except for your journey. And I want you to go all in on a program, 21-day fix, 3 weeks, boom, go all in and see what it does for you. Because if you're feeling like you don't have the passion to talk about the why you should join me, what these programs have done for you, then you need to light that fire back inside yourself before you start sharing. Remember, that's your number 1 job as a coach, is to have that fire lit so deep inside of you that then you just want to share it to the world. And then the last thing, who do you want to become? Don't be afraid to talk about that future woman, that future mother, that future wife, that future partner. Who do you want to become? And how is Beachbody, again, that vehicle to get you there? Chances are not, you are going to speak to someone who feels the exact same way as you. Okay, so now I have a couple fun personal assessment questions, and somebody did this on one of my team calls, and I absolutely loved it because it was like a slap in the face, like a harsh reality check. And I love those. Okay, so thinking back to last week, would you pay yourself 6 figures for the work that you put into your Beachbody business last week? Would you pay yourself 6 figures? If your answer is no, okay, you can't expect this to be a 6-figure business. You need to put in the work, have that CEO mindset. I ran a bomb info session last week, a coaching sneak peek. I can say that, like, you can be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself in this business. I enrolled 4 new coaches from that. I'm like, this is fire. I'm like, sure, I paid myself 6 figures. I own that. So you want to feel that way at the end of every week. Like, yeah, I owned my invites. Yeah, I own this. Yeah, I rocked my health and wellness, whatever your goal is. Okay, your goal may just be you right now. Your goal may be recruiting clients. Your goal may be recruiting coaches. But think about this last week and think to yourself, did I put in enough work to make that 6-figure income that I dream about? Slap in the face. I know when I heard it, I was like, oh God, gut check. What if I told you that this Thursday, like literally in 3.5 days, was your deadline for rank advancements to walk the stage at Summit? How hard would you hustle in the next 3 days? How late? You probably wouldn't even sleep. I know that would be me. Like, I wouldn't even sleep. If Thursday was my deadline, I would be going. And you guys, when I hit the 2-star and then premier, my coach and I, who were running together, so she was pushing for diamond, and of course my husband's account was pushing for diamond. He was pushing for diamond. So we were running together, and we worked our tails off from probably the end of September until mid-November, when that qual date was. And then of course after that, because we had to hold it for 6 weeks. And there was one time that we were all sitting there on this virtual work session together, and we looked at each other and we said, what in the world what would our business look like if we treated it as we were hustling for this qual, for the end of the year qual, every single week? Like, our businesses would be insane, because we enrolled, like in November, I hit like Success Club 30 some odd. And I was like, why don't I hustle like that? So you guys, if your like seat was on fire, like, how would you freaking hustle? So I want you to think about that every time you sit down to work. What if my rank advancement day was on Thursday? What would I need to be doing? How many invites would I need to be sending? Should I watch this next episode on Netflix, or should I shut down and send a couple more invites before the night's up? What if I told you that you would make $1 million if you hit diamond by February 1st? If you guys are not diamonds, I don't know how many diamonds are on this call. You might star diamond, whatever that may be. But February 1st is literally this weekend. What if Beachbody wrote you a check for $1 million if you hit diamond this weekend? Would you do it? Could you do it? Would you stay up all night and do it? Yes, diamond is 12 people. Diamond is not hard. Diamond, you can control one of those emeralds. Like, it's not a scary thing. You could make it happen, and then you'd get $1 million. Like, if you just start thinking, like, what if I could absolutely do this? So then what's the holdup? Just freaking get it done now. Like, you don't need to just keep making it harder than it actually is. This one was fun. What if I told you that you could have lunch with Chris Hemsworth, or whoever your dream guy is, next week if you hit your goal this Thursday? Would you hit your goal? If $1 million doesn't entice you, okay, what if, lunch, dinner with your dream guy, your celebrity crush, would you hit your goal? I'm sure the answer is yes. I would freaking die. So I know that this is just kind of like a fun little gut check, but the reality is that you have everything that it takes. You know what it takes. The only thing that's standing in the way is you, your mindset, and the belief. And every day, if you just focus on getting a little bit better every day, eliminating that word try every single day, doing better than you were yesterday, you will do amazing things in this business. And you will be sitting on a call 3 years from now saying, I have no clue what I did my first year, but look at where I am now. And it's an incredible feeling because I know that I was pulling, if you've ever heard the saying, pulling a pebble into your pile every single day. And that's what I'm doing with my business. And it's not complicated. I can tell you exactly my schedule if you guys want to hear it and how I work my business when this is all done. But it's not hard. This business is not hard. The actions to do this business is not hard. What's making it hard is your limiting beliefs. Is you saying, oh, I'll maybe do it tomorrow. Is you using that word try. You're putting the roadblocks in your way. If you sat down and you were super intentional for an hour or two every day, what would your business look like in a year? What would it look like in a year? That's mind-blowing to think about. So treat your business like a business. And that's all I've got for you guys tonight. I hope that was good.
Oh my God. This is exactly why I wanted you to speak on our team call. That was amazing. I don't know about everybody else, but like that, it like really does not matter where you are in this business. It doesn't matter how long you've been a coach. Like the gut checks are real. And the thing about gut checks is like, that's just a part of the process. And that's something I feel like, I personally am really trying to emphasize everything that's happened over these last, 6 to 8 months, all the stuff that's happened in our team and in my business. Like that was the thing that I realized, like, it's not about, just like you said, like you didn't just stop because you were going through your diamond quit or something hard happened, right? You leaned in, right? And I feel like by leaning into our team and leaning into our business, it really allows us to have the strength to look in the mirror and see like, okay, this sucks. This feels awful. This isn't where I want to be, but like, what can I tweak? What am I like? How can I do a little bit better today? Or how can I kind of step up and work my way through this? I really truly believe like that's it. Like, I think that's the only thing like, that has kept me going through this business, that has gotten me to where I am today. And I feel like that's all, if there's a superpower, like, I just shared this in our diamond group today. I was like, you listen to all these, top coaches, what do they all say their superpower is? It's consistency. It's like they didn't quit when, things like this happened, when the hard things came up. They just didn't stop. They just kept putting the pebble in their pile and doing the thing. And I feel like that's a gift we take for granted, like how simple this business really is. And how in turn, it's also the very thing that I think that helps me, out of my ruts is I'm forced to show up. I'm forced to get better. I'm forced to lean into my, personal growth and my own journey. And so I really like that point you brought up. Like, when we're struggling, like, it's not about stopping. It's about looking inward and looking back at us and, maybe recommitting to our own journey or recommitting to our business goals or recommitting to our why. It's not about, doubt. It's not about, saying that you're not capable of this or you're not meant for this anymore. Like, that's just life, right? We go through things like that outside of this business. Why is it that when it becomes to our business that we start to then always turn it into a doubt spiral? You know what I mean? Like, we're all guilty of it, but like, that's the thing. That's the mindset shift, like you said. And I truly like, I can so relate. Like my first 6 to 8 months of this business are like a blur. Like, I don't even know, like, I know I hit emerald, but like, I can tell you, like, I honestly don't even know what the hell I did. But it wasn't until I went to my first live event that my coaches have heard me say this over and over and over again, but like I went by myself and it was like a small, intimate Super Saturday. We're from upstate New York, or I'm from upstate New York. So like our local Super Saturday is always pretty tiny unless we get a big speaker. But it was exactly that. It was just being in a room with other like-minded women and hearing, you know, someone get up and get recognized for hitting diamond. I was like, what the hell? Like, what? I want to be diamond. And like listening to people say like, what, you know, talk about their whys and what they were doing with this. It's really when I started to actually think and treat this like a business. You know, I started to see myself with, you know, the gold mine that I did have in my hands, and I just didn't realize it, right? I didn't have that belief in myself to actually do something with this of that magnitude. And then ever since, like, the one other big takeaway I took from you that in all your questions was like, it's so true. Like, I just, you know, don't, the try mindset, like there is no try to me. There still isn't to this day. Like, I think that was one of the shift that came from when I did hit diamond, I hit it like coming out of a push group. And I think the reason why I you know, made that jump was because I finally realized like it's not about having the try mindset. It's about having the mindset that like this is happening. What this like no negotiating. Like diamond's a decision. My invites are non-negotiable. Showing up is non-negotiable. Like you know, showing up for myself is a non-negotiable. Like really adopting that mindset. Like there is no plan B. Like there's only the plan A. There's only the vision, and like however long it takes me to get there, okay. But like it's, you know, getting there or bust, right? So I feel like that's really it, right? I feel like that's the thing that separates coaches who are thriving from coaches who are struggling, is because they've adopted that mindset that, you know, treating this like a business, honoring their vision, and really like and just breathing that in every day, and knowing like in order to get there they have to just set those non-negotiable, that have that non-negotiable mindset and put in the work. So
yeah, my diamond who just hit diamond most recently, she had her diamond date and she would text me at least once a week and say, I am going to be diamond on, I am hitting it. It's happening. And she would just text me that. I would text back. I'd be like, hell yeah, you are. Like, and it was just like this constant affirmation that she would text me, tell herself, and she freaking did it. And she's actually a 1-star. Like she hit diamond and then she hit 1-star like right away. Like it was really, really cool. I can only see like 7 faces on here, but out of these 7 faces, raise your hand, are you going to Summit? Okay, like half of them.
I know.
Yeah. I know. Get your tickets. Come to Summit.
In my defense, I did buy my ticket. I just have a wedding and can't go.
Yes. Yeah. That would trump it for sure. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? I'm always like teacher style, like Q&A, open book.
If no one asks a question, I mean, I would think it's always helpful to hear like people's schedule. Like, I mean, I think there's a lot of healthcare ladies on the call, but also people all over the board. I love hearing people's like routines and stuff, because I feel like that's the other like thing that, I don't know, has always helped me, is really kind of, not that my routine's ever super like rock solid consistent as far as the time frame, but like the structure of my days is always pretty the same. Like, you know, like how I worked my business was always concrete, like when I did certain activities and all that stuff. And that's really what helped me, I think, like just in the day to day, you know, getting it done. So I feel like that would be super helpful.
Yeah. So I get my workouts in the morning. So I will wake up and I will do my morning routine. most days. It's not always perfect, but most days I wake up, I make my Energize, I come in here, I do my start to day journal, I read over my vision, I look at my vision board. And as I'm sipping on my pre, I will check in with my challenge group, make sure that I haven't missed anything, comment, like, whatever. Work out, get ready for work, listen to PD in my car on the way to work. I'm flip-flopping right now between the 12-week year and Everything is Figure Outable. And those two audiobooks kind of flip-flopping in my car right now. When I get to work, I'm there like 7:45. The school day starts at around 8:30. So when I'm at work, I'm at work. I teach, and then at lunch, I always try to check in on my stories at lunch. And then usually while I'm eating lunch, just because it's mindless, I will follow. I'll follow all my people, do the little follow. I set the timer for like 7 minutes, follow as many people as I can based off of, recent people who are following me and their followers. And then for the next 7 minutes, I go to like how you can go to who you're following, and then you can sort it by the latest. Hope you guys all know that trick. Because I didn't for the longest time. And so then all the people who I just followed, I go and love on them, like their posts, comment when I can. And so this is all like on my lunch 40-ish minutes. Sometimes it doesn't always happen because I might be making copies or pulled into a meeting. And then I teach. Sometimes on my prep, I have free. Usually my prep, I am prepping so that I can leave like very much shortly after work. So I get home every day, sometime between like 4:30, 4 and 5. And it's just me and my husband right now. And he works in finance and he gets busy seasons. His summer's a little bit slower. He doesn't get home until like 7-ish. And so when I'm home from that 4 to 7 window, 4:30 to 7 window, I work my business. Like I don't even go upstairs and change. I set all my stuff down, I grab a snack, and I come right into my office. From there, what I do is I will clean out all my DMs. That's what I do first and foremost. After that, and I clean out all my DMs because in that time, that's when I'm on my streak. As I'm cleaning out my DMs, that's when I'm sending emails for people who want more information, popping people's name in their streak, following up with certain people who I realize haven't responded to me. Once my DMs are clear, that is my time when I will either make sure that I do some more following of people or I get my invites in. I'm not I have no problem getting my invites in. I do bare minimum, like my survival, if you will, is like 5 to 7. But on most nights, bare minimum is 15 to 20. Typical is about 30 at least a day that I'm doing. And I type out a fresh invite every single day. I type out a fresh follow-up every single day, and I will go through who's watching my Instagram stories and based off of our last conversation, see if they need a fresh invite or see if they need a follow-up, send about 30 of those. And then I'm pretty much done for the night and cycle and repeat the next day. So that's it. I really don't invite. I do not invite on Fridays. I'm really pretty much unplugged on Friday nights. When I think of my ideal client, she's unplugged on Friday nights too and would not want to be invited to a challenge group. So I don't invite to a challenge group on a Friday. Saturday I use as like a housekeeping day and just kind of clear out any messages, just use it to be very present on my social media and like show my face and show my fun weekend plans if I'm doing anything fun. I won't really invite on Saturdays because again, my ideal client is probably not wanting to join a challenge group on a Saturday. So Fridays and Saturdays are kind of like my off days. And then Sundays are my heavy like prep days. So obviously like for meal prep, but on Sundays, that is when I schedule out all my posts in my boot camp for the whole week. I run my boot camp with 2 other leaders on my team who I know I can rely on. So we take every 3rd day. So we schedule out our posts in our virtual gym. We use a challenge tracker app. And I also send out my newsletter on every single Sunday. And that's kind of my life with Beachbody.
I love it. I'm very, very similar. I'm actually newly like starting that. It's weird. I've felt the shift just like paying attention to like my business where I'm doing that thing where I'm really not inviting too much on like Fridays and Saturdays. I'm more like I'll answer follow-ups and I'll, kind of like, I don't know, I'll engage a lot with in my inbox and all that stuff, but I'm not so much doing my heavy inviting on those days. And then, yeah, I'm very much the same. I've always utilized, I've usually used Saturdays, especially when I was working full time. Saturdays were like my, bulk catch up days. Catching up with my team, catching up with one-on-ones, catching up with if I had follow-ups and stuff from earlier in the week. And also like scheduling out that like getting as much done as I could for the upcoming week. So I definitely, can relate to that. You got to utilize your pockets when you have them, right? So, I had one other, last thing, because you really, unless anyone has any questions, please interrupt me. Like, I want you to talk about, because you talked about how you were like, you went to Summit very last minute your first year. Like, talk about how you made that decision to like go to Summit, because I feel like that my first year as a coach, I joined in June. I think I started coaching. I joined in March, but I started coaching at the end of June, watching Summit. So it must have been the New Orleans Summit, like 2017, that I was watching. And I was like, okay, I got to do this. It was like one of the last things I remember watching people doing that I finally was like texting my coach, was like, okay, teach me how to do what you do. And so I didn't go to that one. And then 2018, I didn't really have an upline. I didn't really have an upline that worked the business or anything like that. And I only had like one coach. So I totally chickened out and didn't go to Summit. And then last year was our first year as a team going to Summit, and my first Summit as well. And it was like game changing. And now we're going to be going, I'm going to have a newborn when I go this year. So
when are you due?
I'm due in June. So I'm like, yeah, my husband's coming. We already have a hotel. Yeah, as you can see, I'm turning red because I'm like very nervous about it. But it's just one of those things. I like literally like I've stressed over it because it's like, it's such a non-negotiable to me at this point. Like I feel like I have to be there. Like that's just how I feel. And so I don't know, and like, especially last year, like you were there, some of the girls on the call tonight were here, seeing all the other, so many coaches, like I saw so many babies there last year. Which is always super inspiring to me because, of course, I envision part of my big why and my vision for this is because I want to have a family and I want this to be something where I can be a business owner and have this autonomy and have this, passion, but also have my family be a part of it kind of thing. And so anyway, I'm just,
No, that's what drives me too. And of course, like 3 years ago, I wasn't even thinking close to having a family. And so of course my why has definitely, your why evolves the longer that you're in business. It really does. It changes. And so, my why is really driven by my marriage, my future family now. That's non-existent, but one day it will be there. But my first summit, so I told you guys how all 3 summits, it's been kind of like a crapshoot for me going and like hard and like not good timing. This year, I will be flying home from Scotland 2 days before summit, another time zone, across the country, coming home, doing laundry and hopping on a plane and going to New Orleans. So it's still not good timing. I'm still going to be there. So you guys need to get your butts there. But my first summit, I was like hemming and hawing. My really close, like college girlfriends, some of my best friends were really, really, and they still aren't into this business. They think what I do is very silly. It's been a really big struggle for a lot of my personal relationships with some of my girlfriends. And it's sad because it brings me so much joy. But I had really started to lean into this team and the community and the friendships that I was creating. And these girls had just become like so close. Like I had been talking to them like every single day. Like, I'm like, these girls are becoming like my best friends. And my Emerald coach at the time, so I'd been coaching for less than 6 months, she had bought her ticket to Summit and I hadn't. And one of the girls on my team said, Janine, your coach can't go and you not go. You've got to come. And so it was like May, it was literally my birthday, and I just fired off an airline ticket and I was like, screw it, I'm going to go. My coach ended up not going, the Emerald who bought her ticket. She ended up not going. So like my personally sponsored coach wasn't even there. She's not even coaching anymore. But, and out of that first summit, it was me. And then there was a house full of 8 girls of us, all within our team. 3, including me, are still here today. Because that's that belief in this business. People come and go, you guys. People come and go. And don't let yourself be one of those people. But out of those 3, I just went to one of their weddings in December in Florida. Because that's how close we are. I got to bring my husband. He got to meet all the girls in real life. And because obviously he knows them. And it all started when I went to that first summit. And I made lifelong relationships from going. So if you're on the fence, please, if you take anything away from this call, just go. It will be worth it. And it's all tax write-off. So there you go. Married to a finance guy. If you have any questions, let me know.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Janine. I don't know. Does anyone have any questions? I see some people have hopped off.
Thanks, you guys, for sticking around and for listening to me blab so long.
Yes, thank you. We will let you go and enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you, Janine.
Bye, guys.
Excited. Bye.